everyone, this is Spines and Spoilers, which is the new name for my channel if you didn't notice. There have been a lot of changes going on during this global pandemic, partially just to try and keep sane. Today I thought I'd do kind of a quick book haul type thing because I actually have time alone for the first time in what feels like a year, probably because it pretty much has been. I genuinely cannot remember the last time that I actually had time alone to myself. And as some of you probably know, it's very hard for me to record while I'm around other people. So I'm gonna throw together this book haul, show you guys some books that I got earlier today. I'm actually feeling a lot better mentally than I was doing like earlier this year. I'm going to try to start putting out videos more regularly if I can. I have at least 3 videos in my photo gallery that I need to get edited and posted. They are actually very old. But anyway, here's my book haul. The first 5 books that I'm going to talk about are young adult books. 3 of them are by Ellen Hopkins, I believe is the name. Yes, Ellen Hopkins. She writes a lot of poetry and young adult based material. This one, for example, I don't remember what it is about. I'm very sorry. But all of them have to do with like adolescence and dealing with tragedies in life. I know one of them is about addiction, another one is about suicidal ideation. It's a lot of tough topics. There are generally a lot of content warnings that go along with them, but they're extremely interesting, and especially, you know, if you like poetry, which, you know, you don't necessarily see a lot of, especially young adult material. I flipped my phone around and that's a lot better. Okay, but the first book is Tricks by Ellen Hopkins. The second is Fallout by Ellen Hopkins. And the third is Impulse by Ellen Hopkins. I'm pretty excited about those. I've read Impulse before, but it was years ago. So I'm pretty excited to read the other 2 and see if it still holds up. I read Impulse when I was about 18 or 19, I believe, so it's been quite a while. I'm hoping they're still as good as I remember them being, though. The next book is one that you'll all pretty much recognize, I'm sure, which is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, I believe? Aveyard. I'm going with that. Anyway, the Red Queen series is pretty popular. It's a young adult series. I'll read the synopsis for you right quick. Actually, never mind. I won't, because my copy is so jacked up that you can't read half of the synopsis. This is what you get when you buy used books, people. Not saying don't buy used books, but sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and assume that you're gonna find the book interesting because the synopsis is scratched off. The last young adult book that I got was It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vicini. I've heard a lot about this one, but not necessarily about the actual story, so I don't necessarily know much about it in its entirety, but I will read the synopsis for this one because it hasn't been scratched off, believe it or not. Ambitious New York City teenager Craig Gilner is determined to succeed at life, which means getting into the right high school, to get into the right college, to get the right job. But once Craig aces his way into Manhattan's executive pre-professional high school, the pressure becomes unbearable. He stops eating and sleeping until one night he nearly kills himself. Craig's suicidal episode gets him checked into a mental hospital where his new neighbors include a transsexual sex addict, a girl who has scarred her own face with scissors, and the self-elected President Armelio. There, Craig is finally able to confront the sources of his anxiety. So, that sounds like it's going to require a lot of content warnings as well. But it also sounds like it could be pretty interesting if it is done correctly or in a sensitive way. So I'm pretty interested to give that one a try. The next book that I want to talk about, I think, is the only other fiction book that I have left to talk about, and isn't really a young adult book, but I've seen it kind of all over BookTube, so it's definitely been being talked about, and it is The Emperor of Ocean Park by Stephen L. Carter, who is a man of color. The synopsis goes thusly, if I can get the book open. Recording with your hand is for the birds. An extraordinary fiction debut, a large, stirring novel of suspense that is, at the same time, a work of brilliantly astute social observation. The Emperor of Ocean Park is set in two privileged worlds: the upper crust African-American society of the eastern seaboard, old families who summer on Martha's Vineyard, and the inner circle of an Ivy League law school. It tells the story of a complex family with a single seductive link to the shadowlands of crime. The emperor of the title, Judge Oliver Garland, has just died, suddenly. A brilliant legal mind, conservative and famously controversial, Judge Garland made more enemies than friends. Many years before, he'd earned a judge's highest prize, a Supreme Court nomination. But in a scene of bitter humiliation televised across the country, his nomination collapsed in scandal. The humbling defeat became a private agony, one from which he never recovered. But now the judge's death raises more questions, and it seems to be leading to a second, even more terrible scandal. Could Oliver Garland have been murdered? Has he left a strange message for his son Talcott, a professor of law at a great university, entrusting him with the arrangements? A mysterious puzzle that only Tal can unlock, and only by unearthing the ambiguities of his father's past. When another man is found dead, and then another, Talcott, Rye, straight arrow, almost too self-aware to be a man of action, must risk his career, his marriage, and even his life following the clues of his father left him. Intricate, superbly written, often scathingly funny, The Emperor of Ocean Park is a triumphant work of fiction packed with character and incident. A brilliantly crafted tapestry of ambition, family secrets, murder, integrity tested, and justice gone terribly wrong. Justin has gone terribly wrong, everyone. But yeah, this one I'm pretty excited for. It sounds extremely interesting. I haven't read anything like this in a little while. It feels more akin to like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which I'm a huge fan of. Highly suggest. I still need to read the 5th and 6th books of that series, so I'll probably be doing that soon. The rest of the books that I'm going to talk about today are all nonfiction, believe it or not. Usually I am not that big on nonfiction, but I'm probably going to be starting school again sometime soon, so some of them are textbooks, and then some of them are just books that I thought were really interesting. The first nonfiction book that I want to talk about is Billions and Billions by Carl Sagan. I'm sure that y'all have heard about it plenty of times, but it's basically just his examination of life and death and the universe and all that good stuff. But I love Carl Sagan. I adore his work, and I've yet to read anything by him that I didn't at least find interesting. So I'm pretty excited to read this one. Hopefully I can give it a try sometime soon. I do have quite the TBR going on right now. But hopefully I'll get to it soon. The next two books that I have to the next two books that I have to talk about are by Atul Gawande. I believe that's how his name is pronounced. One is called Better, and the other is called Complications. Both are nonfiction works which are about his life as a surgeon. And I'm pretty interested in reading about that. I've read one of his other books called Being Mortal, I believe it was, and it was basically about death and dying. And I really enjoyed his writing style. So I'm looking forward to reading those two. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and warn you guys from this point on, it's pretty much just old textbooks because I'm hopefully starting new classes soon and I wanted to kind of study up ahead of time and, you know, get a head start. The fridge is talking to me. It's being very loud. Anyway, the first book is super duper fascinating, Intermediate Algebra, because I'm going to be taking pre-calculus, but I have not taken algebra in a very long time. So first I'm going to brush up with some intermediate algebra. Then I have a psychology study guide, which I'm pretty excited about, honestly. I'm going to be going for my degree in psychology and hopefully eventually have a degree basically in grief therapy and grief counseling one day in the long term. The next one is a big one. It's a calculus textbook. It's so pretty, but it's so large. It's so heavy. I'm not looking forward to that one. I hate math. I had to take a more advanced math course though, which is dumb. Next one is a core concept books for psychology. It's just an old textbook on psychology so I can brush up before the class starts. The next one is basically just like a Cliff Notes thingy of biology so that I can do some review before that class starts. I've taken the high school class of biology, but I haven't taken a college course. I have taken anatomy and physiology, which I feel like is more difficult, but you know, whatever, we'll see. Oh my god, how did I get 3 math books? Next one is pre-calculus mathematics in a nutshell. I can't believe the day has come where I bought 3 math books and it wasn't required. What the hell? I can't believe that. And the last one is actually the one that I'm most interested in, and it is Learn to Sign the Fun Way. It is a sign language book because the place I'm going to be going to offers sign language, American Sign Language, as a course. How wild is that? I'm so excited. All of this is a little premature because I haven't been accepted yet, so I'm gonna feel really dumb if I don't get accepted, but you know, wish me luck. Alright, that is the end of this book haul video. It feels like that went by very quickly. I feel like I probably did something wrong, but I don't care because I'm just glad to be recording again. I hope that all of you are staying safe out there. On a serious note, please remember to wear your masks. Please, I beg you, wear your masks, practice social distancing, stay safe. I care about you all. I want you to be okay. Please. Okay. Alright. Well. I forgot my own outro for a moment and had to take a minute to remember. It's been that long. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, love yourself. I'm watching you. You better do that one. Take care of yourself. Bye!